welcome to the Sims 4 speed build channel. I'm Olita and today I'll be showing you this build I made in Newcrest on a 40 by 30 lot. So this house took inspiration from a house that I found on Pinterest and I just fell in love, and I've kind of realised that on my feed there's been loads of white houses, so I guess that's my thing. But on The Sims it's so hard to recreate white houses, so I don't know, we'll see how that goes. But just so you know, beware, there might be like a series of white houses that's maybe coming up, I don't know. But I was surprised when I went on my Pinterest feed and found out that, but maybe that's my style now. But anyway, so with this lot I use BB move objects and BB show hidden objects and also the tool mod cheat. So they're all the cheats and the mods that I use with this build. And then also with this build I wanted to like the main focus to be on the garden, so I kind of went all out on the garden, and you will see me just playing around with loads of different things because I had no idea how it was going to turn out or what I was gonna even do, to be honest. Because around my area there's loads of houses with just amazing front gardens and you don't really see it a lot in The Sims, so I was like, you know what, I want to actually put it in a build, and I love it. I love this house so much. It's just so my style, and I kind of wish this was my house, to be honest. But, so yeah, so with here I just tried to put like some elements in, because I know that we don't have many things in the base game. Like, we do have some really good objects, but then there's also some questionable objects I think within the base game. But this back bit area here, like I saw this image and I think it was from Spain or something like that, but they had like a wall separate from the house and then with this like archway, and I thought that was so cool and I just had to put it in this build. So yeah, I just started to play around and trying to find out like how things would work, like even with the windows, and trying to make things work, because even when it's white it's like a bit grey, which I don't really like within The Sims. Like they need more textures, like wall textures that are just in the right tones, like good white tones, black tones, and I don't think they have enough of them. But with this build I didn't go crazy on the terrain. Like you'll see me just here and there just add bits of like using some of the terrain tools, but I don't go mad like I did with my first video. And if you haven't checked out my first video about the cabinetry house, you should, because I spent a lot of time on it, and yeah, I think it turns out really well, like this one. And then, like I said, I did like a main focus on the front garden of the house, and I did use some of the debug objects on The Sims to just create the landscaping that I want and to fill it out a bit more, because I didn't really know what to do with the front of the garden. Like it was so big that it kind of scared me. Like I actually had to take a break for probably about 2 days because I had no idea what to do with it. But then I found these debug rocks that I fell in love with that were just the right kind of tone of white that I wanted. And then, sorry about this, like I made a mistake, I didn't record some bits, so you'll just see things like coming randomly. I had to just press back so that you guys could see. But I used a lot of the debug trees and the plant pots kind of things just to fill out the space, and I did use loads of rocks to fill in this pond area at the front of the garden, which I think looks really nice, and it just adds to it rather than just looking like a pool. It actually looks like it's like built in to the surroundings, which I think looks nicer. I did use the tool mod here sometimes just to lower the rocks into the ground because they were just hovering at the top and they just wasn't filling the space, which I liked, so tool mod was perfect for that. I also did play around with the terrain paint. I wasn't sure if I wanted like a driveway or a large patio at first, and it just didn't really work. I think the contrast between the grass and the large patio area just didn't look right. It just looked a bit weird, so I just got rid of that and used the terrain paint instead with the stepping stones, and it just worked perfectly. I think it gave that nice contrast between an area and like a walkway, and it's definitely the best thing to do. I think in real life the large patios and driveways just look so good, but in The Sims they look a bit odd with just like the open space. We need something to put there. It just needs something there in The Sims. So yeah, I got rid of that and tried to come up with some other ideas that I could use the space. In England we don't really use our front gardens as much as our back gardens. But what do you guys think of the new platform tool? I haven't really tried it yet. I did try a few things and I wasn't very keen. I think just because anything new on The Sims, it takes me a while to get used to it, and I saw actually my first build recently, and oh my god, it is just so embarrassing. Like, there was no foundations or any trees or plants in sight, which is so weird. And it's just, yeah, it just wasn't good. And I think now, like, becoming on YouTube, I've really tried to step up using more of the terrain and the terrain tools, flowers and trees, just to go with like the landscape around the area. It just flows better, and just adding more detail and just adding more and more and more. I think that's what I've learned recently, is just to add and add and add, just keep adding stuff, because it can't really go wrong if you keep adding stuff. And I think you've got to be a really good builder, I think, if you're going to go for the minimalistic look, and I just haven't mastered that yet. So I think me just adding stuff right now is a good thing, because I'm going to learn more, and also I'm going to be able to find different objects within the game that I haven't used before, and just find a place with them. Because I think it's very common, especially with people using the base game, use the same objects all the time, and it's like, how can we use these differently to make it interesting? So that's what I've been trying to do. And with this, I just didn't really like the wall going around the house, so I just put some trees up all the way along. I did have to take it out, because I didn't think you want me to see me place every single tree along that fence there, so I just got rid of that. But here I'm just trying to put everything together, put in the finishing touches. And with this side I tried something different. So the other side I put like the plant like in the rock, and the tree within the rock. I think it looks okay, but it's, you know, it's not really realistic. But I just kept the two, because I was like, see what people like, giving you both options. But with this side, this is the bit that I thought I was going to put the driveway in, and I got rid of that, and instead I did like a little gardening area, which I think is so nice. And yeah, I'm so glad that I did that. And then here also I used some of the debug fences, and I've actually never used these, and I think these went with the house, but these are actually not easy to use, purely because some of them don't match, and I really had to like lift them up and try to do a thing just so it looked kind of natural. But it works in the end, and yeah, they look great within this house, so that's really cool. And then I had to use some of the tool mod just to lower these planting beds down, which was okay at first, but I think it was hard. I did have to alter it just because of, like, I did raise it towards the house, so they had to be a bit slanted, but it worked out in the end. How many packs does everyone have? Like, I only have the base game, but I'd actually like to know what is the average pack, or pack should I say, a person does have on The Sims, because I only have the base game, as I just said. So I can just stop saying that, because it's quite embarrassing, but as I only have the one, like, how many do you guys have? I'd love to know what packs do you guys have and what actually is recommended, because Snowy Escape has just come out. It looks so good. I love all of the tones, like the wood tones that they have, and yeah, it just looks like a really good pack to get. But I think I should really stick with base game and see what I can do with base game first before I get more packs. I'm not sure what first pack I would get, so if you could recommend, please do, and comment below. That would be great, thank you. I have been looking at seasons, but I'm not really sure because it doesn't really come with another world, so we'll have to see. But here I thought it was so cool if I put these like flamingos in the window. I just thought it was like a little cute little detail that I could put in. And then here I'm just adding loads of plants, pots, so that this person can just grow their own fruit, and yeah, they can grow anything what they want. And then the front section in front of the plant pots, I had no idea what to do, to be honest. No clue, but I do put a bird bath in, just like a sea area and stuff like that, which does look really cool. I thought just adding these fence areas like around this section, so it's kind of like sectioned off from the garden. So it's like a secret area where, I don't know, a secret stash of plants, I guess. More plants. But yeah, here I'm just trying to tie everything in, and I do put in like a wooden table, so I get rid of one of the plant pots and then put this wooden table in, just a bit more realistic. Like, they would have boxes there, maybe they would have like a flower planting section or flower arranging section there, which they could just do. I just thought it would be like a nice realistic element. I know in the game that they're, I can't remember what pack it is, but they do have like a florist table, and obviously I own base game, so I can't use that, but I thought it was just a nice little element to just make it look a bit real. So I did put, I'm not sure if I could, it might be a hammer on there, but I think that's the only tool that I could find. I didn't want to find like a shovel, but I just couldn't find one, so anyway, it doesn't really matter. Maybe they just want to break some pots. Who knows. So yeah, then this part I bit some more flower beds and then just added these white rocks just to go around the side, just to mirror it, because I thought it looked a bit weird just to have nothing there along that wall. So I thought the flower beds and the rocks would be perfect. And I just want to apologise for like the different daytime coming off and on. I'm still getting used to like editing, so yeah, bear with me on that. But I do like, it's not a huge deal, but you know, still I think some people definitely notice it. But anyway, so yeah, I go back to doing these rocks here, and I think I put some more flowers in this section. I'm thinking, I don't think there's a pond here. Yeah, so I think there's a flower section here where I just fill it up, and then I even use one of the debug fences just to separate that part from the bird watching area. I just thought it would just be like a nice way to divide the space up, like divide the front garden, because it's such a big garden, and I wanted there to be a space for each type of activity or some kind of activity. For this build, I did originally build it for an elderly, but then I thought it'd be a cool idea if maybe like there was a new couple that moved into this house, and maybe the elderly person just recently passed away and they bought this house and they were stuck with this huge garden, like this beautiful garden that they would have to do, and they'd have to like basically learn from the start. So I thought it'd be a good kind of story for someone to use, like they've just got into this house and then now they need to kind of learn from the start with your Sims. Like you can kind of develop your gardening skills with this house, which I thought was just perfect. Yeah, but I did small down the plant pots. I'm not sure if they still work like that. I don't know. I probably should check, but I just didn't like them at the same size all the way around, so I thought it'd be nicer. And then here I didn't want to mirror the other side with the rock area like I did with the left side, so I thought with the right side I would just put some them flower beds, which should just be perfect. And I thought it was just a nice area to add more flowers, more stress for these simmers to live and to learn how to garden their house. But yeah, and then here I did some like more lighting ideas and just adding the house up at night, which I thought was nice. And it just, yeah, I just basically did it all on the walkway areas where you would walk, like where we'd walk down, and I thought it looks nice. And yeah, I think I'm just really proud of this garden. Like it did take me long, but it didn't take me as long, so I was actually really proud of that. And then with here I wanted to add like a pool section at the back, and then kind of like an overhang where that wall is, so that I could like put some trees and some vines like growing up the wall, which would be kind of cool. And then with the back of the garden, I didn't want it to be as full with plants as the front, so I just add evidence for like a family, like a pool, and then a table. I think that's coming later though, and I do put a swing in there as well. But I just wanted to section off again into areas where like Sims could be like and just enjoy their garden, and where they could do different activities. And I think I'm going to carry that theme like throughout my builds, just sectioning off areas for different parts of the house. I think when it's all open, it's kind of hard, it just looks really empty, so I think me doing that has just really helped. But with the inside, I struggled so much with the floor plan. I didn't know what to do, and the bathroom is quite small at the bottom, and I did cut loads of the footage out of me messing around with the layouts, because you do not want to see that just nonsense of me going around and around. But I love the kitchen inside. It has so many cabinet space, and it's just a lovely big kitchen in here. I just tried to make things work really. Like I did try to stick the oven in the middle, it just wasn't working, so you know, whatever, I'll just put it on the side. And yeah, so I just add like little areas, and then I do add a table at the back for them to sit and eat, and then also like a seating area at the front, which is really nice. And I just thought as well, I think this is a perfect house if you do have cats and dogs. This is a perfect house. I think if you have cats and dogs, like a dog could live here. I think it's such a big house. I think it'd be great for this house. So yeah, if anyone got cats and dogs, and yeah, tell me how you enjoy playing in this house with the game, because I'd love to hear it. So yeah, I'm just adding small little elements in, and then just trying to make it homely. and I was actually thinking about adding some, like, using some of the platform tool with this house and just sneakily put it in there, but I was like, Alita, what's the point? There's just no point. It's not a platform house, so that's so that's it. So I didn't eventually, but I was considering putting it in this house, but I think it's nice as it is, and yeah, I think I've pulled it all together to work as one. I still try to put like realistic elements in just to make it a bit more personalised and full, because for me, like when I'm playing The Sims, I just want to add like details in, like the post object and some of the letter objects, and then also a chair. Like I feel like a chair is just needed by the door, just because, especially with the shoe rack, I don't know if about anyone else, but I need to sit down when I put on my shoes. So I just, from now on, I think I'm always going to put a chair like near the door, because it's another objective for the space, and I think goes with the realistic element of I need to sit down to put on my shoes. So I just can't stand anymore. Like I remember being a kid and just being able to fling my shoes on so quickly, and I don't know what it is now, but I just can't. But with this small little bathroom, like I have seen other cinemas like squished it in, so I did test it. Like you can just see the guy here like testing, so everything does work within this bathroom, like the sink and the toilet. Even though they're quite squished, everything fits. But with the bathroom, I actually didn't know what to do, because I was trying to think of it, put it in the corner, and that wasn't working. So I just thought, okay, I'll just do 3 squares, and that was fine, and it worked. And then I've never actually done this trick about putting kitchen cabinets on the floor. I love it. I think I'm going to carry doing that and just trying to use them in a different way that I haven't used before. And with this living room, I struggled a bit, but just because of the size of it, I didn't know really what to do. But I think it comes together eventually, and you know, I had that tree with the clock, and then I wanted like kind of a main focus within the room, so I did just have a panel section of like maybe some like real brick, and just putting them columns in the side so that it gives it like kind of just a highlight of the room, and then with the fireplace, and then with the lighting as well. So I didn't really know what to do or where to put TV, but then like I did try it in the fireplace and that wasn't working, so then I did try it in the corner of the room, and I thought that was perfect on a slant. And then I do add a bookshelf in here, and I just want it to be a really cozy living room, and I didn't want it to feel just so big, so I kind of found a way of how I could put the sofas in, like kind of in a slant, so they kind of feel in a bit more squares, because I feel like with big living rooms, you know, I'm quite new to sharing my builds, and before, like, I didn't really mind having a big space, a bit empty, but now that I've like sharing my builds with you guys, I wanted to make them a bit just more fuller and what they'd actually be like in real life. So I've tried to fill them out as best as I could, but we'll see with the game as like how things progress and like where I can actually use the objects in the future. But no, I really like this living room. It's really, really nice. It's cozy, and yeah, I think it's just perfect for a family or for a new family. And then again, just me adding like extra details in, like the tissue box. I love the tissue box. I think I use it everywhere. Probably one in every single room. I think I use a tissue box, because they're just needed, aren't they? Like I think in my house at home as well, I just have so many tissues in my home that it's just an object that it's okay to have a lot of. Kind of like the plant trick, like everyone has plants everywhere. And I'm not sure if you know, but I'm not really a big fan of plants. I like them, but I don't have them around my house. But in The Sims, everyone just loves to put so many plants everywhere. And I thought it was a cool trick that I used with the shelving here, just to fill up the space in some wall areas, because I don't really like all of the paintings and picture frames on our gallery. So I thought shelving units are perfect, where I can just stick loads of objects in to make it a bit more full in the room. And then with this kids' room, I thought maybe they'd have a newborn. I just thought it was so cute for me to try out these shelves in the corner, and for her to have a bed that was just not just stuck on against the wall. It was a bit like cornered off in the room. I thought it looked really nice, and just try to add some details here and there, like maybe like a chair where her mum would read her some nighttime stories. And then I did size down the dollhouse, but it does work. I did test it and it's all fine. And then on the left side there, I thought it would be quite cool to have maybe some crayons on the floor and that maybe she's drawn on the wall, just so like extra detail and character in this room, to kind of show what this kid is like. Maybe she's a bit naughty and we can have that trait within your child. Actually, I'm looking forward to doing some crazy kids' bedrooms, which would be nice. And then with this guest bedroom, I just thought it'd be kind of a cool bed because it is quite squished. So I thought, okay, I don't want to have side tables, so I thought maybe using these shelves would be better, and they're kind of connected to the bed. But this room is kind of basic, everything that you need, and it's nice. And I think it's just good for a spare bedroom, and it just works, and it has all the different things that you need. And with the rugs as well, I tried to do like a different kind of rug placement, just to kind of make it a bit offset and just a bit more eye-catching, I guess. And then with this bathroom, I just wanted to try something different, so I upsized this shelf and then just put it just beneath the sink, and then added in a kitchen cabinet which would just go underneath, and then just some more details here and there just to make it a bit more homely. And then tried to find objects that you'd see in an everyday bathroom. And I really didn't like the top of the mirror, so I just downsized the shelves and then put them on the top there, because I don't know why, but the edge was a bit funny to me, so I just thought I'd hide that. And then again here, I didn't record this part, so I just had to press back so you could see it all. What I really like about this master bedroom is the dressing table there. It's not functional at all, but I think it just looks so nice. And I just think the dressing table that we have in game, what actually do we have? No, we do have in game, but it's just too typical, like just a dressing table. I'm just not that keen, so I thought me just making a custom one, doesn't matter if it's functional or not, because no one really sits at the dressing table anyway, but I just wanted to add like just some flowers in there, some perfume, and just to make it like look like it actually is a dressing table, and with a comfy chair as well. And then I just add some shelves underneath the windows, just because I just don't really like the edge that they just give off, so I wanted to just add like a little section where you have a bay area, which I thought was nice there. And then here I'm just trying to pull it all together and just make this a really nice master bedroom. And the shelves, I think the open shelves look so good. And then I've kind of add like some boxes at the top there. And then with this side room, I wasn't really sure if I should do like a big gym or if I should split it off, but I do decide to split it off. And then I do like a gym section in the back there. Just all the basics that you would need, and I think it just looks so nice. And I think with having like it's separate from the house, I think it's just really really nice, and I personally prefer it rather than in the house, because it just allows you to have a space where, you know, if you want them to focus, they can, like especially with Sims, like they just go off and do whatever they want to do. So I think that's just nice to have. And to kind of use this, maybe it was like an old garage and then they've extended it and they've, you know, made it into a gym. And then at the front section there, I think I do add in an easel, a workbench, and then I also do add in the chess table as well. I'm not sure if any of you guys have watched the Netflix series The Queen of Gambit, but it's so good, and I'd really recommend if anyone hasn't watched it. I thoroughly enjoyed the show, and I now actually really want to get into playing chess. I'm not sure if I'm going to be good or not, but because I've never actually played chess before, but you know, I loved her commitment throughout the film of, you know, that's what she loves to do. And I think sharing what we love to do with people, you never know how far it can get you. So I think it's a really good episode, and I'd highly recommend if you haven't seen that show on Netflix. And then with the outside here, I'm just trying to finish it all off together, and I do add like a table just outside of the kitchen area, which I think is really nice for them to bigger space to eat, because I know the table in the kitchen isn't that big, it's just like a round table, so I thought I'd add another one. And then I'm just trying to make things just a bit more fuller and adding more details here and there. And then, which I think is really cool later, is I do section off parts of the garden, like I said earlier, so I do add in like a kind of a bigger fence just to split off the flower and the chill section outside of the garage in front of the tree section. So I do add in a climbing frame in there. The one thing I really do want is the swing. I'm not sure what pack that is in, but I would love a swing in this game, but just because it fills some space rather than just a climbing frame. But then I do add in some more plant pots as well on the outside, but just a few just here and there. So yeah, so that's my build. I'm really proud of myself with this build because I really like it. It's such a homely build, and I've played in it as well with my Sims and it's so good. So yeah, so just tell me what you guys think, and screenshots should be rolling soon. But thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next one.